Yes, friends. So here we will start a new chapter, the desert. This is the chapter number 3 from your supplementary reader. Here in this chapter, we will study about the life in the desert, how the life in the desert is, and how the people of that climate exist there in such a hot temperature, with such a hot temperature. So earlier there were many myths about the desert. People believe that time that desert is just a hot, dry, waterless and without shelter area, but entirely it is not correct. And we are doing studies and we are watching and we ourselves are going at the place and we can see there that there are variety of home as well as animal and plants also, and there are some condition also in which the life can exist. So it's not the true picture that how the people used to say about the desert at past time. That's not a completely true, we can say. So now there is a mention that trees are also there in the desert, and also oasis is there. Oasis is a green plant and water area in the center of the desert. You can see there that there is spring where plants and trees are getting better chance to grow there in that condition, in that area. Desert can be both kind of. It can be the hot desert like the Thar one, Thar desert, or it can be the cold desert like the Ladakh one. Both the desert are there, of the high temperature and of the low temperature. Now, generally what we say that if the place has little or no water and vegetation, people usually at that time used to call that place desert. The place which is having no water and no vegetation, they name that place as a desert. Some deserts are also there which is totally water, without water. And in that place, strong winds are blowing, and that winds are just collecting the heaps of the sand and depositing them and making the mounds. That mound we call the sand dunes. That strong winds are blowing the sand, and the sand is getting collect at one place, and it is making the mound shape that we call the sand dunes. So now about the animal, they have mentioned that there are kind of animal in the desert which require less water. Like camel is very popular, and that is why we call it a ship of desert, because it can just drink the amount of water at one time and it can survive without water for long days. It means it is not a kind of water whom we have to give daily or after hours water. It will drink the water from a source of water for one time as much as he can, and then he can store that water for the further use when there is no place of drinking water. Like as we all know that desert is soil, just the soil. So there are such kind of animals who are making themselves cool in that kind of hot temperature while making the burrows inside the soil. In the daytime they just keep themselves hide in those burrows, and in the night time when the temperature decreases, the soil is now cool, they used to come out. They don't get water, they are completely waterless animal. They just get the amount of the water, they just you absorb the water from the meat what they are eating, from the flesh they are eating. They don't sip the amount of water, they are just storing that moisture from the flesh. So deserts, we know that in the daytime the desert will come very soon, will become hot because of this nature of the soil, and in the night time it will also decrease, it will decrease quickly, the temperature will decrease quickly. So days are hotter and nights are a little bit chilled, you can see in the desert area. There are some kind of plants like cactus. That cactus is also absorbing the amount of water. With a little bit of rainfall if will occur, it will absorb the water and it will be green at the same amount of water without putting water into it every day. So desert is the variation. It is also an important part. We can't deny this. Like if it is desert, it is not should be there. It's not the part of our country or part of our atmosphere. It is also very much important. Like any green or plain land is important. It's also having a different kind of role in our nature. We can't deny that it should not be there. So this is the whole chapter about. We had read that how a desert is important, what was the myth about it in the previous uh, years, what was the myth about the desert. People believe that it is just the hot waterless area, but it is not the complete true. It is having oasis in the between where greenery, plants and water is also there. And it's of two kinds. It is the cold one and the hot one. Your Thar is the hot one while Ladakh is the coolest one. And then we had read there are animals who can survive without water in the desert. Also such kind of animals which are not drinking any sip of water, they are just getting the water from the flesh what they are eating. And they are hiding all the daytime in their burrows and they are coming out at the night time. Also cactus, it's just absorbing the amount of water with a little amount of rainfall. So the desert is also a unique place you can see and you have learnt in this chapter. It's also having different kind of animals which you generally can't see in your plain areas. So I hope the chapter is clear to you.